Happy Monday, the 13th day of May 2019. There's something about Mondays you just can't trust that day. Not a problem here. If you like what you do, Mondays are not an issue. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life channel. Megan, our producer, has already promised a 4-star show, so if we promise it, we got to deliver. We'll do our very best. Thank goodness I got Hayley and Grant helping out in the back half of the show. Hayley Stoebner has been on the show before. She is the recruitment coordinator for Fostering WA, the foster care folks who, foster parents are always needed. Unfortunately, it's a need that needs to be fulfilled. Hayley talked about that, and she brought her husband Grant in, who, by the way, just opened 509 Bierwerks just down the road from our studios, and they're doing a fundraiser. As a matter of fact, the conversation with Hayley and Grant will come up in the second half of the program. Plus, we'll wrap up the weekend that was in sports. Boy, the tailspin that is the Seattle Mariners continues. Their 10-game road trip came to an end with yet another loss to the Boston Red Sox. They went 2-8 on their 10-game road trip. At least they're back in the big city where maybe they can reverse whatever's going on. Well, the problem is they're not hitting, quite frankly. Big change in the weather forecast. We got one more day of pretty nice weather. That's today. And then major change, rather dramatic change, will be coming our way by the middle of the week. Forecast details are coming up. We also have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays, and everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Hope you had a good Mother's Day over the weekend. The weather was fantastic. 87 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday. That was well above normal, but we're going to go right back on the other side of that coin with some clouds, a little bit of light rain, and temperatures back down to normal. But we could use the rain. We're a little behind on our measurable precipitation during the rainy season, which begins on October 1st and goes through, September 30th anyway. So that's our rain calendar anyway, as the National Weather Service sets it up, and we need the rain. We're in a little bit of a drought. Not a big drought, but we're dry. We could use it, and it looks like, if everything pans out, we're going to get rain. Details are coming up. All right, 3 minutes after the hour on this Monday, let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Just a few high clouds. And that's all we're dealing with as we look at our cross camera. We're starting to dry out. What was really, really green just a couple weeks ago is starting to brown up a little bit. That's why we need that rain. But it's going to be just another mild day, another dry day. But the clouds will be thickening up. And then, as I mentioned before, a rather dramatic change to cool and wet weather will begin really Tuesday night into Wednesday. Forecast details are coming up. Beautiful view of the valley. And again, the Columbia River is running cold. And it's running high, but at least it's not flooding. You remember about a year ago at this time, the Okanagan River up north was flooding quite a bit, and we're going to have more snow runoff throughout the course of this week, as everybody is going to get a little bit of rain, some places more than others. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? We're going to pay a visit to, that's Badger Mountain. Yay, it's Badger Mountain, way up at the top of Badger Mountain, where the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. I'm quoting Rogers and Hammerstein now. That's a beautiful view that's way up there, of course, on your way up to beautiful Waterville. You can see how much snow has really disappeared for the Wenatchee Valley. You can see the summit of Mission Ridge. They had a lot of snow go bye-bye over the last 4 or 5 days. That's going to continue. But a beautiful view there, just a few high clouds, and that's what we're dealing with. 57 degrees outside of our studios. That's pretty warm. Camera 3, where are we off to? It is a view of, is that McNeil Canyon? Chelan. Okay, we'll call it Chelan. I think that's McNeil Canyon. I'm not sure. It's pulled back quite a bit. I think that's Lake Chelan right in the middle of your screen, that little sliver of blue. So I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you that's the very top of McNeil Canyon. Who would want to live up there? And of course, you can live up there or live in that area. And if you can see this tower, that means you can get Sky-Fi, high-speed wireless internet. No fiber required. You can live out in the middle of nowhere, and as long as you can see one of our towers, you're in like Flynn. Camera 4 is a shot of, she's going to make me work on this one. Oh, boy. That's a camera that I give up, Megan. That's Billy Goat? Okay. Well, I thought so. I didn't want to go out on a limb. I guess that is Billy Goat. There's the mighty Columbia. You just can't quite make out the beautiful hamlet of Pateros. So that is moved to the east and pointed down and zoomed in a little bit. And it looks like we still have that darn spider web that's been hanging around on that camera lens for a few days. That's a super high camera and a spectacular view. And hopefully All those big, green, beautiful evergreen trees will be right there by the end of the fire season. Keep your fingers crossed. Great view from Billy Goat, which of course is the home of the Billy Goats. Well, Pateras anyway. Pateras High School. I think that's their mascot, isn't it? 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the forecast, you can blame the government. Here you go. Again, today, dry, mild, nothing really. But as the day progresses, the clouds will be thickening up. So it'll be on the increased clouds anyway. So that big dome of high pressure, that upper ridge, is going to start to shift eastward. It already is. There's a little storm system that's situated over the eastern Pacific. It's going to be spreading precipitation across the Cascades around midday and Tuesday. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday is when things really change. There's a deep and big-time upper-level trough. It's basically covering the entire Gulf of Alaska, and it's going to come right on down and pay us a visit. It's going to bring some cooler air and some wet weather with us. Best chance of measurable rain looks to be Thursday, 50% chance of measurable precipitation. We have measurable precipitation in the forecast really Wednesday night all the way through Sunday. It's just some of it's going to be hit and miss, some light rain here and there. For the Wenatchee Valley, Thursday going to be our wettest day. The farther east you go or the farther west you go, the better chance of rain. We have that rain shadow working for us. So we're going to get some light rain, and we could use it. We could use a little bit more. So 81 today, that's well above normal. Then we go to 71 tomorrow, which is just about normal. But lots of clouds, and 73 on Wednesday. And again, good chance of measurable rain on Thursday, high of only 70. And then as you can see there, that's 71, 70, 70 across the board. That's just about normal. So one more mild day, fairly dry day. And then things start changing rather dramatically, really Tuesday night into Wednesday, as that high pressure ridge that gave us that nice pleasant weather leaves the area, and that's going to allow for this cold, wet conditions to come in from the Gulf of Alaska and pay us a visit. That's okay. As I mentioned before, we need the rain. It is 8 minutes after the hour. We want to thank our brand new sponsor, is Confluence Health, who is on board Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thank you very much, Confluence Health. We'll be talking to those folks coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Going to give them a nice little profile. I love Confluence Health. They take care of me when I need it. They're the ones to go to, Confluence Health. Thanks for sponsoring this program. Now I have to actually do a decent job, I suppose. Going to take a break. When we come back in 1 minute, you got your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
Welcome back. A few high clouds and 58 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. We'll top off at about 81, then we cool down quite a bit. Back down to normal temperatures anyway, with a pretty good chance of measurable rain by the middle part of the week into the upcoming weekend. Here's just making headlines on this Monday morning. A 64-year-old resident of Prince George, British Columbia, was killed late Saturday morning when the motorcycle he was driving crossed the center line and struck a pickup that was towing a trailer. The accident occurred on Highway 20, about 17 miles east of Tonasket. The Washington State Patrol reports that Donald Leonard was westbound on Highway 20 when he failed to negotiate a turn. Leonard's 2002 Harley-Davidson struck both the pickup and the trailer. Both Leonard and the motorcycle came to rest on the highway. The occupants of the truck, 64-year-old Robert Swift and 62-year-old Michelle Burning, both from Olympia, were not injured in the accident. Drugs or alcohol were not a factor. Well, a 2-county sales tax hike is being considered as a way to fund future improvements at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. It's an idea that received a serious look by a panel of community leaders tasked with helping Chelan and Douglas County port districts address projected future budget shortfalls. The idea of combining the ports into one regional port is also being explored. Douglas County's inability to keep up with its share of airport expenses has resulted in a task force recommendation to functionally consolidate the two ports' operations. The change is expected to save an estimated $500,000 a year in port and airport operational costs. Paying for future airport facility needs is a separate issue that could eventually lead to the creation of a two-county regional port authority that could potentially tap into local sales tax dollars. This is according to Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz, who was a member of that task force. Pangborn's 10-year capital budget includes about $10 million of additional needed airport projects that are not eligible for federal funding and have to be financed using local funds. Mayor Kuntz said the task force held its final meeting on Tuesday and has recommended that the two ports immediately move forward with the process of functional consolidation before approaching the legislature at a later time with a request to form a regional port authority. It would be the first of its kind in Washington state if, in fact, it gets approved. Well, calling all makers, the 4th annual Mini Maker Fair is approaching. In fact, it's coming up June 1st. The fair is a one-day free event for the community to connect and learn more about local innovators from around the state. Led by the nonprofit GWADA, the event is organized by more than 20 students and invites a wide range of makers, from tech enthusiasts to artists and performers. The event is asking local makers, artists, entrepreneurs, and scientists to apply online to participate in the event. It draws over 2,500 people each year to the Town Toyota Center. Applications are open until May 17th. You can visit wenatchee.makerfair.com/apply. And finally this morning, it's official. The Wenatchee Valley is in the midst of a hotel lodging boom. Our very own news director, Cal Fitzsimmons, tells us more.
When the Hilton Garden Inn near Pybus opened for business April 26th, it became Wenatchee's largest hotel, adding 177 guest rooms to Wenatchee's pinched lodging market. The 110,000 square foot hotel is Wenatchee's first along the Columbia River and has taken advantage of that with outdoor spaces and rooms overlooking the river. The hotel also has a lounge and a restaurant that serves breakfast and dinner. This is just the beginning, however, of the lodging boom taking place in the Wenatchee Valley. In the works are a 127-room Residence Inn by Marriott near Walla Walla Point Park, a 103-room Sleep Inn near the existing Comfort Inn and Suites in Old Station, a 99-room Fairfield Inn and Suites being built in East Wenatchee, and a 95-room Wenatchee Abbott Hotel on North Wenatchee Avenue. That hotel will replace the Value Inn, which is due to be demolished. In all, Wenatchee will have more than 600 new hotel beds in the coming years. This is Cal Fitzsimmons for NCW Life.
Thank you very much, Cal. We appreciate it. It is 14 minutes after the hour. One more item of business before we take a little break. It is filing week for all the local candidates or prospective candidates. There are a lot of local offices up for election this year, including the mayor of Wenatchee, the mayor of East Wenatchee, various council positions, and of course, for the school boards, both the Eastmont and Wenatchee school boards, many seats there are open for election. This is filing week. Prospective candidates have until the end of business on Friday to get your paperwork in and say, my hat is in the ring. We'll have continuous updates all week long on those people who've decided to file and run for office. A friendly reminder, the news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. What happened on this Monday and over the weekend? The team will get together and cobble together a little bit of news for you. The NCW Life Evening News with Grant Olson. He also handles the weather forecast. Eric Grandstrom with sports. And you can check it out right here on this very television station at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10 also available on demand right about 5 o'clock in the afternoon via our website at ncwlife.com. You can stream us live on the website. Whatever is being broadcast over the air right now is always being streamed on our website, or you can watch various shows on demand whenever you want to, from the Stimmel Growers Grand Parade to newscast to this show to whatever local show that we produce. You can watch it whenever you darn well feel like it. Just point and click, and it's down the road you go. And you can use our website as a tool for you to get a hold of us. Go to the Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Fill out the form, and we'll get it. You can also email us as you see at the bottom of your screen. Pick up the telephone, give us a call. Go to our Facebook page, whatever. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. It is 16 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, The weekend that was in prep sports. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is David Olson. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, we genuinely care about our patients. And we hope that you trust us to take care of you, to take care of your family. Thank you.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
We're back at 17 minutes after the hour on this Monday. Let's do sports. The Sunnyside Grizzlies were up to the challenge. On Saturday's district soccer championship against Eastmont, the host Grizzlies tallied 5 goals en route to a 5-1 victory. So the Wildcat season comes to an end. You remember last year they made it all the way to the Final Four of the state tournament. Not going to happen this year. Sunnyside will take on Pasco in the first round of the state tournament later on this week. Meanwhile, in the District 6-7 crossover games on Saturday, Lakeside, 9 Mile Falls ended Chelan's season 6-0. Bridgeport, however, they advanced to the state tournament with a 5-1 win over Medical Lake. The first round of the state 1A tournament gets underway this week. Bridgeport takes on Vashon Island, Cashmere takes on Connell, and Cascade will battle Wahluke. Well, the Wenatchee Panthers' run at another state baseball tournament came up short on Saturday. The Panthers dispatched Davis Friday, 16-2 in the district semis. The Wenatchee took on Moses Lake for the championship Saturday afternoon, and the Chiefs advanced by Indians. The Chiefs, by the way, advanced by Indians Eastmont season Friday 4-2. So Moses Lake, as it had all season, showed it's the dominant team in the Big Nine with an easy 11-1 victory over the Wenatchee in Saturday's title game to earn the conference's only seed to the state tournament. Moses Lake will travel to Richland Saturday for a first-round state 4A game against Hanford. The winner will play the winner of Richland and Curtis. Chelan advanced to the state 1A baseball tournament Saturday with a 5-0 win over Deer Park. The Goats will take on Hoke William Saturday at 10 a.m. at Franklin Pierce High School in Tacoma. If they win, they'll play the winner of Overlake and Bellevue Christian. Well, the Wenatchee and Eastmont finished their regular season softball schedule Friday with victories. The Panthers swept Davis 12-2 and 20-4 at Walla Walla Point Park. Eastmont traveled to Sunnyside, swept the Grizzlies 18-0 and 17-1. Both teams will host district play-in games tomorrow. Eastmont takes on Sunnyside, and Wenatchee will host Eisenhower. Okanagan stunned Cascade in the District 6 1A title game Saturday in Peshastin, a 6-4 victory. Chelan adding Cashmere's season 12-7. So in Chelan and Cascade for the last chance to move on, and the Kodiaks claimed that victory 11-10. The Wenatchee Valley Thunder season came to an end Saturday. They lost to Tahoma in the state lacrosse playoffs. The final was 13-3. Jake Reiner, Tristan Plock, and John Walker were the only Thunder able to find the back of the net. Tahoma, by the way, the same team to knock Wenatchee from the playoffs last season. And mercifully, the Mariners' road trip ended with 11-2 loss to Boston on Sunday. It concluded a Red Sox sweep of the hapless Seattle team. They went 2-8 on the 10-game road trip. In the process, the Mariners have slipped now to third in the American League West behind Houston and Los Angeles. They are 20-23 on the year. Marco Gonzalez took the loss yesterday. He had lasted just 4 innings. He surrendered 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, gave up a home run. J.D. Martinez hit 2 home runs on the day for Boston. He also had 3 RBIs. Seattle has no time to lick their wounds. They host Oakland tonight. And red-hot Mike Fiers, who was coming off his second career no-hitter in his last outing. The Mariners will counter with UC Kikuchi, T-Mobile Park. First pitch, 7:10. By the way, if you're disappointed in Seattle's road trip and wonder what the heck is going on, it's about hitting. In the Mariners' first 7-game road trip of the season, they averaged 9 runs and 12 hits per game. They went 6-1. In Seattle's just completed 10-game road trip, the team averaged just 4 runs and 7 hits per game, and they lost 8 out of 10. And more bad news. The Mariners have placed Felix Hernandez on the 10-day injured list with a strained throwing shoulder. Hernandez lasted just 2 1/3 innings on Saturday. He allowed 7 earned runs, 6 hits in that loss to Boston. To bolster the bullpen, Seattle recalled Dan Altavilla from Class AA Arkansas and picked up the contract of Parker Markle from Class AAA Tacoma, while optioning Braden Bishop to Tacoma. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. At 21 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Frog Jumping Day. There you go. We don't know why. According to numerous sources, it goes back to a short story written by Mark Twain, Jim Smiley and his Jumping Frog. Jim Smiley was a con man. He trained his frog over and over again to jump higher and farther than any other frog, and then he would take on other frogs and take their money and win the bet. It was unclear why it would be on today, May 13th. I really don't know. So how do you celebrate today? Jump around like a frog. It could be painful. Don't do this in a crowded room or heavily trafficked area. By the way, a group of frogs is called an army. Did you know that? Yeah. There you go. Jump like a frog day today. It was the only obscure holiday I could find on the internet. This whole internet thing, by the way, keep an eye on it. It's going to go somewhere. Trust me on that. Let's do today in history. May 13th, 1940, 79 years ago today, the Phony War came to an end. It was called the Phony War. Of course, Germany invaded Poland in September of 1939. World War II got underway. They had already annexed Austria with no real fight from anybody else, and then nothing happened. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Everybody thought, is Hitler happy with that? Just the Nazis just taking Austria and Poland, the Phony War. Everything got real quiet. Well, that ended. Germany began to get aggressive again. They crossed over, as you can see, into Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg, by blitzkrieg, eventually into France. Neville Chamberlain was tossed out. Winston Churchill took over. The Phony War came to an end, and people realized, okay, this Hitler guy, he's serious, and we're fighting. Happened on this date, May 13th, 1940. May 13th, 1981, 38 years ago today, Mehet al-Akhma tried to assassinate Pope John Paul II in St. Peter's Square in Rome. The Pope rushed to the hospital with 3 significant bullet wounds. We didn't learn until much, much later how close the Pope came to death. He was in surgery for 5.5 hours. He eventually survived and recovered. The attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II happened on this date 38 years ago today. And May 13th, 1976, the very last ABA game ever played. Here's the end.
Skinner has the ball. 5 seconds to the championship. Hit Jones. It's all over. It's all over with 3 seconds to go. And the crowd storms onto the court. 1 second. The clock is out and the ball game's over. Pandemonium as the New York Nets win 112-106.
Ah, yes, the good old days. The ABA, as you see there, the Nets defeated the Denver Nuggets 102-106 to win the ABA championship. It was the final game in ABA history. The ABA was barely hanging on in 1976. They started out with 10 teams at the start of the year. They only ended with 7. 2 teams folded before the year even began, and 1 team folded right in the middle of the season. And, of course, 4 of the 7 teams were eventually ingested into the National Basketball Association and the ABA with their 3-point shot, and their red, white, and blue ball went away after this date 43 years ago today. And let's do some birthdays. Speaking of sports, the legendary Joe Louis, the American boxer, was born in this state in 1914. The pride of Detroit, died in 1981 at the age of 66. His all-time record in 69 heavyweight championship fights, he went 66-3, a remarkable record. Reigned as the world heavyweight champion from 1937 to 1949. In 2005, the Ring magazine named him number 1 on the 100 greatest punchers of all time. And Joe Louis is responsible for 2 of the great boxing quotes ever. He can run, but he can't hide. And my favorite Joe Louis quote of all time: everybody has a plan until they've been hit. Joe Louis was born in this state in 1914. Stevie Wonder, I love Stevie Wonder. The great Stevie Wonder is 69 years old today. 4 albums in a row pretty much define the musical career of Stevie Wonder. They're all classics. They should be in everybody's record collection. Music of My Mind, Inner Visions, Talking Book, and Songs in the Key of Life. Stevie Wonder, when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1989, he was only 38 years old, the youngest living Inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the legendary Stevie Wonder is 69 years old today. And Stephen Colbert is 55 years old. Of course, he hosted the Colbert Report on Comedy Central from 2005 to 2014, and now he's been hosting The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS since September of 2015. Stephen Colbert, 55 years old today. It's 26 minutes after the hour. We are going to take a break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion, and then my conversation with Hayley Stoebner and her husband. We're going to be talking about getting more foster parents, and we're also going to be talking about beer. Not bad. My interview with Hayley and Grant coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Ways to lose stubborn belly fat. The roasted core wrap. 3, 2, 1. Not cool. Freezing away fat cells with Cool Sculpting, now that's cool. Cool Sculpting safely freezes and removes fat cells with little or no downtime and no surgery. Results and patient experience may vary. Some common side effects include temporary numbness, discomfort, and swelling. Ask your doctor if Cool Sculpting is right for you.
Spring has arrived here at Town Nissan. So has a new shipment of certified pre-owned vehicles, like this Altima and this Rogue. Each of these vehicles goes through a 167-point inspection. Then we will cover them up to 7 years and 100,000-mile warranty coverage. You'll save thousands on these popular models. How about America's best truck warranty? 5-year, 100,000 miles on the all-new Nissan Titan. Buy smart, own confidence at Town Nissan, behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now look, in the realm of sexual assaults, there is no such thing as date rape. Now rape is rape. The majority of sexual assaults occur within an already established relationship, the minority, vast minority, between strangers. To define an assault as occurring on a date in no way lessens the potential trauma to the victim or lessens the culpability of the offender, and should not cause consideration for a reduction of penalty. Now, date rape, oh, gosh, who made up this stupid term anyway? Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers
were following Brian since Brian's automotive time?
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. May is National Foster Care Awareness Month and Foster Parent Appreciation Month. May is a big month. And to talk about that and other cool things about fostering kids and being a good foster parent, just being a good person all around, is two good people all the way around. Hayley Stoebner has been on the show before. You were here talking about Make a Difference Day last year, this year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year, and you agreed to come back, which is amazing. Most of my guests never do that. And you brought a handsome, strapping guy with you. Who's that?
This is my husband, Grant Stoebner. So he's here to support me with my fostering thing. We also have some interesting things to share with you a little bit later about a business we have started in town as well.
And it's about beer. That's that. I said, sure, you want to come in and talk about beer? Bring Grant in. I know your background. Kentucky native, right? I'm trying to remember.
That's right.
And then you because you were in the Army, and so that means you traveled like everywhere, right?
I did, and my father was in the military also, so Army brat, and then I continued 23 years in the Army. So, but I call Washington State home, originally the West Side.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with the area and family up here, so we decided to move in this area.
We get that a lot.
I know.
You know, we came here, we fell in love with it, and we decided to come and live here and be here. So, welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
Grant. It's good to have you. What branch of the service were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay, cool. 23 years.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good. I was designated 4F by the Army in the event of war. I'm a hostage. So there you go. Hi, Hayley. You emailed me a couple weeks ago, said, can we come on the show? And I said yes, and you're on the show because you want to raise awareness of
Foster care and foster parenting. Absolutely. So yes, it is Foster Care Awareness Month, and we tie that in with Foster Parent Appreciation. And we're just here to share that information. So I work for an organization called Fostering Washington, and we're contracted with the state to recruit and support foster parents. So here to spread that awareness.
And how's biz right now?
Actually pretty good as far as finding foster parents here in the Valley. This is an amazing community that has a lot of support services for foster parents, and a lot of people are stepping up and saying, how can I help? So it's pretty amazing, but there's never enough. That's really
There's always a demand.
Exactly.
Which is the other side of that coin.
Exactly. I actually say to people oftentimes, well, I'm not ready to do it right now. And I say, you know what? Foster care will always be here, and it'll be ready for you when you're ready to do this.
And of course, the kids who are in the foster care system have really, for the most part, never really had a traditional family setting, have they? Their life is pretty much upside down.
Absolutely. Most children in care do come from very, very chaotic home lives, and the stability that they can get from a family in foster care is just so important and so needed. Because some children have never seen what it looks like to have a healthy relationship, and so foster parents can model that for them, which is so important for them as they move on and grow into adulthood.
How does one know, our viewers, that they might be a good foster parent? What kind of skill set do you need besides giving a damn? I suppose that's about it, right?
Number one, yes, that's it. That's
Okay.
it for sure. But just really having patience. Parenting is hard in general, but parenting a child from a hard place is challenging. So it takes a lot of patience, your willingness to partner with other agencies, because you're not just parenting the child on your own, you're co-parenting with the state and their service provider, so you need to have that willingness to partner with others, the willingness to reach out for help when you need it, when the going gets rough and tough,
And
because
it
it's
will.
going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to happen. The willingness to go through training, which is actually a requirement, but
And a background check, an extensive background check.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's pretty thorough, the home study process. A foster care licenser comes in your home to look at safety. There are nice checklists that they'll give you to go through. They're also doing getting to know you as a person to see, hey, is this a good fit for your family? And they just want to get to know you better.
Especially if you have a family, you already have an existing family, and it doesn't necessarily disrupt the family flow, but it could really be rewarding for the most part.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hear from foster parents all the time that sometimes they'll say it might be one of the most challenging things they've ever done in their lives, but it's certainly one of the most rewarding things to do in their lives, to know that you are there providing that nurturing and that support and structure for a child who needs that so desperately. It's very rewarding to them.
What are the age parameters for kids in the foster care system? I know that you can be too young to be in and then too old to be in, right?
Right.
I mean, how does that work?
So definitely there are children who come into care from birth, so newborns, and all the way up to children, young people can opt to extend their care and their stay in foster care from 18 to 21 years old. So that's actually a need for families to step forward and care for those young people in that 18 to 21. It's called extended foster care. So it's important to have those folks. We definitely need more foster parents to care for our teens. It's a demographic of youth in care that we have a harder time finding families for those young people, and it's very needed. It's very needed.
Kids are time consuming, and teenagers especially so.
Well, yes and no.
Well, yeah.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Teens in care, given the developmental level and whatnot, they could be left at home. So you don't have to worry about finding that babysitter. You're not changing diapers. You're not feeding bottles every couple of hours. So there's some trade-offs. It's different types of parents.
It's also an awkward age, and
Absolutely.
You often get siblings like brother and sister who are in the vicious cycle, and they want to be together. I mean, that's kind of the deal. Can we?
Exactly. So sibling groups do come into foster care. That's another demographic of children in care that's harder to find homes that can accommodate them. And the state definitely tries to make sure that siblings stay together. But again, if there's not a home that can accommodate that many multiple children, it's hard to do that. So I know that recently here in the Wenatchee office, they had a sibling group, I want to say of 8.
Wow.
Which that's a big ask.
Yeah, that's a huge ask.
Right. So, and they have unfortunately been separated. But I know the families that have them are working to make sure they're still trying to stay in contact. They had a sibling group of 5, but even sibling groups of 2 and 3 sometimes are hard to find placements together for them. So if there's someone out there who says, hey, I think I could do this, definitely give us a call.
How does the placement process work? You go through the check, you go through the safety check, you are state certified to be a foster parent, then what?
So what would happen is when a child is, or children are brought into care, a referral is then sent to someone who's called the placement coordinator. And then the placement coordinator just starts calling all the families within their files, if you will, to see who can take this child or children. And people with their foster care license, there's a parameter. So they might say they only take children 0 to 2. Right. Some do take 0 to 18. So they're calling those people. If it's a 2-year-old, they're calling people that says they'll take a 2-year-old to say, hey, does this kiddo sound like a good fit for your family? The foster parents then get the opportunity to ask questions as well, and then decide, do I think I could do this right now, or is this not the right fit or not the right time for us? So they can say, sorry, not this time. But we always say to them, do not worry, they will call you again.
Yeah. Is the time commitment flexible then by definition? You may have a foster child for a certain amount of months or even longer? Or?
Yes and no. So there is something called respite foster parenting, which is like more of a short-term care. So there, when you're doing respite, you have a little bit better idea of how long you'll have the child or children. So it might be a day, 2 days, a week, especially in the summertime when people like to go on, trips and whatnot. But sometimes they just don't really know. And so and they always say in the training for foster parents that when you're really considering taking placement of a child, think that this child will probably be in your home about 2 years.
Okay.
So that's kind of the long-range estimate.
Do the foster parents really become attached to the foster kids to the point where, gee, I don't want to, they're through the system and I don't want to let them go.
I know.
I'm sure that happens all the time.
I know, it does. It does, and fostering it can be such a heartbreaking experience for people. You really are putting your heart out there, and you are risking grieving a loss of a child that you love. But the reality is, foster care is about finding a family for children, not children for a family, and it's about reunification. It's about trying to bring biological families back together. And
that's the ultimate goal, provided that their parents get their act together to the point where they can handle the kids again. And it should be noted out that foster parents are not, you're not alone, you got a lot of help. There's a huge support structure involved in foster parenting in all kinds of different ways, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are in-home programs that people can come in. Children's Home Society provides those services here in the Valley. They can come in and work with the family to help train and teach and mentor. My organization, Fostering Washington, we host support groups. We have a monthly group here in Wenatchee and a weekly group as well. We provide mentoring services to families, so we're kind of that friend that can walk alongside them and help guide and support as well. The social workers themselves are a support. The supervisors here in the Wenatchee Valley and the area administrator, they're wonderful. They are a great support to
What about financial support?
Oh yeah, that comes up a lot too. Yes, thank you. Yes, foster parents do get a reimbursement for caring for the kids in their homes. So, yeah, it's not like, here's a kid, good luck. They do get financial support. Every kid in care gets health insurance, which includes vision, dental, physical care, mental health services.
And all of these things are needed because, again, they're innocent. The kids don't want to be here. The kids don't want to be foster cared for the most part.
Exactly.
But sometimes, especially the older kids who understand the situation is involved, for them it's a huge release valve. I'm out of this situation. I'm into a caring, loving home. I get 3 square meals a day, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And actually, I know a teen in care right now with one of my peer mentors who I supervise, who told me I took him to the carnival for the apple blossom, and we were talking, and he was like, just saying, loved living at this person's house because he knew that he was getting a nice place, a safe place to sleep, and 3 meals a day. I mean, yeah, those things that a lot of people take for granted, it's not lost on this child.
I'm assuming there are kids who simply fall through the cracks in that there's no place to place this kid for whatever reason. What happens there, even for what?
So I can say definitely here in the Valley and especially even the eastern side of the state, they find something.
Okay.
They find something. It may be in the nth hour or whatnot, but I know that there are some kiddos on the west side of the state, and it's happened very infrequently here on the eastern side of the state, who have been put in hotel rooms because there's no place for them to go, or they're sleeping on office floors.
And that's not a home.
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all ideal. And actually, I've heard that children as young as 2 have been put in hotel rooms.
We're going to talk to Grant here in just a minute because we're going to talk about beer. But one last question for you before I forget. Give me a success story. Give me a good fostering WA success story to inspire people out there to maybe plant that seed. Give me a good news one here.
I will. So, I mean, reunifications happen all the time, but that doesn't always happen. And so it's ideal if foster parents can create a relationship with that bio parent so that the child is not completely losing that part of their lives. So I know actually a couple of families here in the Valley who have the child reunified with bio mom, and this foster family became so close to this family that they actually now consider themselves extended family, and so they're a part of this child's life. and visit with this child regularly. And then on the other side, there was a family that I know of who the child was not able to reunify with their family. However, these foster parents and this bio mom created such a great bond that she wanted them to adopt her child, and they did. And now they are still all involved together as basically an extended family unit. So that is what you want for in foster care.
And who's kidding who? Kids can spot a phony a mile away. They can do it. Kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for.
Absolutely.
And just, they just are. Hi, Grant. How are you?
I'm doing great this morning.
So one day you were jumping out of an airplane saying, okay, I'm done with this. I think I want to sell beer and flip burgers for a living. Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We finished up in Washington, D.C. and decided we wanted to move to the Valley. So we bought our first restaurant, Fresh Burger, down in Leavenworth.
Okay.
And 5 years later, we reached our ultimate goal, which was opening a production brewery here in Wenatchee.
And not too far from our studios.
We are 2.5 blocks away.
Oh, so how was the commute this morning to get up here?
The walk uphill is rough.
509 Bierwerks in Wenatchee, and Wenatchee is becoming a kind of a beer haven now. We got all those. We got the places down to Wenatchee Valley.
Brewers
Brewing
Row is
Brewers
phenomenal.
Row,
So we have 4 breweries that are in Brewers Row. We have Wenatchee Valley, Columbia Valley. Saddle Rock is not part of it yet.
They'll get there.
They'll get there. Badger Mountain, and then we were welcomed in as soon as we started planning. So back in October, I went to my first meeting. We were invited to Brewers Row Oktoberfest here in Wenatchee. They allowed us to come in and just be part of the festival, even though we weren't brewing beer. We were still remodeling the space. We took over one of the great Wells and Wade buildings here in Wenatchee.
Oh, wow. Great.
And
great
we were
location.
able, the canvas shop, and we were able to really expose the history in the building and kind of reintroduce a Wells and Wade warehouse back to the community.
Why is it so popular now all of a sudden? Just in the last 10 years, craft beers have just exploded. They've taken off.
I think that the consumer, if you will, people just want something different. And they want that neighborhood bar, that neighborhood pub to go to and experience just good, different beer. They don't want the same beer all the time anymore. Mm-hmm. So the craft beer brings different flavors depending on the season and what people like. It's not just Bud Light or Miller or something like that. Those are great beers, but people are looking for something new and different.
And who's kidding who? There's nothing like an ice cold beer out of a growler that came out of a tap.
Well, I tell you, and we fill growlers, but we have something even better. We have the crowler machine.
A crowler.
So you walk in, you can get a 32-ounce can that we fill on site.
Oh, wow.
And you can take it to go. So now when you go mountain biking or you go camping or you go hiking, you don't have to take a big glass growler with you.
Yeah.
You can take a 32-ounce can, drink it at the top of the mountain, crush it, throw it in your backpack, recycle it when you're done.
In order to stand out in the craft beer world, because you mentioned before, there's Saddle Rock, and there's Wenatchee Valley Brewing and the Columbia Valley and all those stuff. And now there's 509 Bierwerks. So everybody has to have their own little niche in the market. So now everybody's brewing the same kind of beer. And so what sets you apart at 509 Bierwerks?
I think that just our style of beer, it's a Northwest style ale. I come with 24 years of experience of home brewing. This is our second brewery that we've helped start. And so I think we just bring a good depth of flavor. We have everything from a very light lager from 4%, easy drinking, crushable summer beer, all the way to a porter right now that's just easy sipping beer.
Packing a punch a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
So something on the 8 or 9% kind of a deal.
Not yet. We're not yet. We're not going that high. I think our highest is about 7%, 6.2, 7. But something that is just a sipping beer. You're not just mowing the lawn with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got one more question for Grant. Then we're going to talk about something they're going to do. They're calling it Brewing Up Hope, and it kind of ties back to what Hayley talked about. What's the overseeing in the beer people as far as government? I mean, you can't just fire up a beer thing and be done. You have to be inspected, right? Make sure you got sterile tanks and all that stuff. How does that work from a brewer standpoint?
So we actually work from all the way from the local Wenatchee, the city of Wenatchee, all the way through the federal government, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, tax trade bureau, and we get licensed from in all aspects. So we are very regulated. They talk about they want their money. It's all about taxes. So every barrel that we produce is taxed both at the federal level and at the state level. We are inspected at the federal and state level. for security and how we're processing it, and to a certain extent, health department looks at us, and because we use raw grain and stuff like that, FDA actually will look at breweries also. So,
but they have a job to do,
yeah,
and people have to understand that when they're drinking a beer, they're drinking something that's safe.
Yes,
and you can't call it beer. Brewing up hope.
Yes.
Let's brew up a little hope.
Yes, so this is kind of a way that we decided to kind of combine my social work heart with both of our loves of beer, our love of beer. We have decided to designate one of our taps, which is actually called the Wells and Wade Pale Ale, to pay homage to our building, if you will, the Wells and Wade families. But it's called Bring Up Hope, our Wells and Wade Pale Ale. We will donate $1 of each pint sold every month to a nonprofit.
Oh, good.
So this month we are working with Teams Learning Center here in Wenatchee. I developed a nice relationship with teacher Joy, who's the founder of Teams, back when our son went to Teams for a little while. And I just believe what they're doing, and we want to support what they're doing for the community.
Well, that's nice of you, because you don't have to. It's not a requirement.
We feel that the city of Wenatchee and the community of the Valley has given us so much and supported us so well. We look at we've been open not even a month and a half yet, and our grand opening on April 5th, the mayor was there, and the Chamber of Commerce was there. It's kind of a cool guy.
Yeah.
And then the Chamber was there, Downtown Association was there, and everybody was so supportive. And it's through the construction process, through the whole thing. So it's our way of giving back to the community. So we can take 12 different nonprofits every year and give back to them. And they support the community, and it's our way, because we can't directly support in a lot of ways because they're nonprofits.
I almost forgot one last question. I like to, when I drink my beer in my local tavern or establishment, I like to eat. You got food?
We do. We actually brought a lot of the fresh burger menu up here, so it's gourmet burgers.
Gourmet burgers and beer. I mean, come on, it's heaven.
We're introducing something else that I think is missing here in the Valley a little bit. It's chicken wings. So we have boneless and bone-in chicken wings. We're bringing 8 flavors in eventually. Wow. We've got 5 on the menu right now. And it's, there's a lot of good wings here in the Valley, but we want to be the best.
This would be a great weekend and a great time of year to go out and sip a couple of cold ones at 509 Bierwerks. And as far as fostering, foster parents, the website is pretty much just fosteringwa.org. Fosteringwa.org will give you all the information you need.
Exactly.
You can do all your homework in advance. You can even fill out some of the forms that you need to fill out in advance. That'll save you a bunch of time. And we're going to be able to talk to a member of your team here soon?
From Teams. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. It's good to have you on board.
Thank you.
And I'll be down. I'd love a pale ale. That's my favorite. So
Great,
I'll try
awesome.
the Wells and Wade for sure.
One thing, if I can add too,
please.
with Wells and Wade Pale Ale, not everybody likes a pale ale. Some people like that lager. Some people like that porter. So we actually offer the option to donate in lieu of drinking just that beer. So if you want that porter, or you don't want a beer, you're just drinking a Pepsi, you can just come in and just donate. Ask to donate to the Brewing Up Hope project.
Yeah, and I love that little. That's Brewing Up Hope. That's a cool name. Who came up with that?
Hayley.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
Go get them. Let me know how it goes. All right. If you need any help, let us know.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Health Alliance Northwest. CASA's movie night in the park is this Friday at 7:30 at Rocky Reach Dam. Bring lawn chairs or a blanket to this free screening of Matilda. Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival is this Thursday through Sunday. 16 jazz performances take place at 11 venues around the lake, and wine and food will be available at each venue. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
When it comes to accounting, we cover every aspect of it. From our comprehensive range of bookkeeping services designed to help your day-to-day business operations to our end-to-end tax service. From advice, planning, return preparation, and seminars, we offer you the best services with utmost professionalism, letting you focus solely on what you do best, managing your business. We offer solutions for success.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCW Life, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
And we are back live here from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee for this Monday morning edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Let's wrap up this show where we began, and that is the weather forecast. And yes, there is a change in the weather, as you can see right there. Today, another dry and mild day. No real problems, although the high clouds will be increasing as your Monday progresses. If you missed it, 87 was our high on Saturday, 85 on Sunday. That's about 15, 16 degrees above normal, but things are going to change. And that starts happening actually later on tonight as that big upper ridge begins to shift to the east. And that's going to allow a little storm system that's situated over the eastern Pacific. Going to come on in on Tuesday. Going to give us a little bit of widespread precipitation. It's possible anyway on Tuesday. Tuesday right now looks fairly cloudy with a little bit of light rain possible on Tuesday afternoon. But Tuesday night is when things really get changing. There's a upper level trough. It's encompassing most of the Gulf of Alaska, and it's going to come down and pay us a visit beginning Tuesday night into Wednesday. And our best chance of measurable rain going to be on Thursday. As you see, lots of clouds Thursday, about a 50% chance of showers and a high of only 70. In fact, starting really Wednesday night, I should say, Wednesday night all the way into Sunday, we have a continuing chance of rain anywhere between 40 to 50%. But the chance of rain isn't going to really go away all the way through the rest of the week once we get into Wednesday night. The temperature is going to be back down to normal, so we were well above normal for Mother's Day weekend with the upper 80s. A little bit cooler today, and then right back to normal temperatures, quite a bit of cloud cover, and a continuing chance of rain, but the best chance of measurable rain on Thursday. But that's okay. We need the rain. We're way behind on what we should have for precipitation this time of the year. So that is your forecast. Of course, Grant will have more details, more in-depth weather forecast with the news tonight at 5 o'clock. Some housekeeping. What do we have for the rest of the week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley? First of all, it's a short week for me. I will be taking Thursday and Friday off. Eric Granstrom will be filling in for me. He'll be in this chair hosting this program on Thursday and Friday of this week. Tomorrow, Pete Phillips will be dropping by. Pete's a regular contributor to the program. He's from the North Central Educational Services District. The big STEM Summit is coming up in August. They need vendors, they need participants, they need all kinds of things. Pete is going to talk about that on Tuesday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. On Wednesday, it's Jose and TJ. They are Wenatchee Valley College veterans. There are a lot of veterans who attend college at Wenatchee Valley College, and they're going to have a big wing-ding, big program planned for Armed Forces Day, Friday on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. This is an event you don't want to miss. Jose and TJ will talk about that on Wednesday. On Thursday, speaking of the college, a couple of members of the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation will be dropping by. Their annual gala, their big party of the year, is coming up on this weekend, on Saturday night, as a matter of fact. We'll talk about the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation. And then via Skype, Eric will be talking to Kyle Krustengel, the manager of the Apple Sox, on Friday. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.